Hi guys, it's April. In all honesty, I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do this video or if I wanted to do this video, and when I started thinking about it too much, I would always talk myself out of it. But I am just gonna sit down and I'm going to ramble out things that are going through my head because it just needs to be out there. I need to suck it up and just do it. I don't know what else to say. So this video is kind of coming out of this whole diversity fiasco that always seems to circulate through BookTube every now and then. There are cycles when it flares up and then it just all seems to calm down and then it comes back up, and I am totally not against that. I think diversity is always something we need to talk about, but this go around really got me to stop and think about what is going on because of the response that some of the opinions have garnered. Because of opinions stated in this diversity talk, a lot of bullying seems to have come out of it. A lot of harassment and a lot of strong opinions and people not backing down and a lot of butting heads and a lot of friction, which is fine for discussions, but when you take it too far and it just becomes a name bashing and name calling and all out duking it out because everyone thinks they have the moral high ground, nothing is truly accomplished. So I wanted to sit here and I wanted to talk about some of the things that have been going through my head because of this whole diversity talk and everything that happens. Because I myself struggle with finding that line with diversity in books. I will always support diverse books and I will always support an author trying to diversify their characters in any way possible. Now, I struggle here when people attack authors because they don't think a book is diverse enough for them. Diversity doesn't mean a great book. Nothing truly means a great book except for a whole bunch of random elements coming together in just the right way. So attacking a book and saying it is not acceptable just because of diversity is not looking at a piece of work in its entirety. It is becoming too narrow-minded and too focused on something, and when you just bash because of one topic, part of me doesn't understand that. Another thing is, when authors are attacked like this, they never win, because if they were to diversify their characters in their books, and say they're coming at it as a white author and they throw in a person of another culture or another race or another background, sometimes they are called out for not doing it right because they are not of that descent, or it's either they don't have enough diversity or they do diversity wrong. A lot of times they then get attacked for how do you know about that person or all of that thing, or they get the claims that they just threw that token other person in there, and so why bother writing? Sexuality, religion, and all of that stuff, I'm open to all of that, but it's also coming from my background. It's not something I'm ultimately focused on, and I understand that. There are people of other minorities where they have a different life experience, so they are looking for this diversity books, and they are looking for themselves in stories. I have never personally struggled with this, so I can't really justify how undiverse readings are because I have never been there. But what I really want to argue about today, or just talk about today, or have an open discussion about today, is how we bring out that message of more diversity in books and finding diversity in books. In all reality, attacking and bullying and harassing because of diversity is counterintuitive to the message that we ultimately want to give by promoting diversity, by bringing out diversity and finding diversity that we want. It creates a divide. And a divide is always going to cause friction, and most of the time it's not going to be productive at all. You're going to have infighting, you're going to have people who are just going to give up because they're being attacked. Honestly, I don't handle confrontation very well. I don't handle being attacked very well. So I can't imagine what these authors are going through as well. So why do we expect them to give us diversity by attacking? So I have always been of the mindset, if I want diversity, if I want something like that, first of all, just kindly ask for it, or maybe ask why it wasn't something that they included. Poke them or prod them into maybe thinking about adding it into their next work, rather than flat out saying you are the worst author ever because your book sucks because no diversity. And that might be unrealistic, in all honesty. I know some of that stuff. I can speak all day and it's like, seriously, you want us to... No, but my real argument here is to find that diversity, promote that diversity, support that diversity, and just talk about that diversity. If there is something that you are looking for and you find it somewhere, promote the heck out of it. The more that people see that you want that kind of stuff, the more of that kind of stuff we're going to get. I've always been more of the avoid confrontation kind of person. So I like to put my money where my heart is more than I like to put my words where my heart is, because I know that is a way I can promote something without causing huge amount of frictions. But I also understand this is something we need to talk about. But I want to talk about this as adults, not as children on a playground throwing rocks. That is my biggest concern here, because a lot of times I see shaming on Twitter, I see shaming on YouTube, and I see shaming on Goodreads, and it breaks my heart, because who learns from shaming? The only thing that shaming ever really accomplishes is fighting. What does fighting accomplish? Not a whole heck of a lot, let's be honest. I don't know if I really accomplished anything by just sitting here and babbling, but I had to get that off of my mind and off of my chest, that I don't agree with the methods sometimes that we use to promote diversity in books. I like love better than hate, but that's just me. So now that I have said my piece, I will let you go, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.